Shalom, Yasharel. All right, so I pulled this up, and as you can see, the bold face, they understood not that saying. So this is all the times in the New Testament, right? When Yahushua, Jesus, stated that he was going to die, he was going to be put to death, or he was going to be killed, or he was going to be uh, unalived, I guess that's how we have to say it on there, um, and be raised back in 3 days. So we have Mark 10. This is not all the places because we have an extra one, but Mark 10, Mark 9:10, and they kept that saying with themselves, questioning one with another what the rising from the dead should mean. Luke 2:50, and they understood not the saying which he spake unto them. Luke 9:45, but they understood not this saying, and it was hid from them, that they perceived it not, and they feared to ask of him that saying. Luke 18:34, and you could pause it, whatever. Luke 24:45. So my understanding, and this just might be my understanding, but my understanding was that on the Sabbath it was a tradition, at least in the New Testament, to for the people to come to the synagogue when the temples were standing and the scroll Torah Tanakh was rolled out and the priests began to read. And this went on perpetually, like I said, for a number of centuries. So everyone should be well aware, and especially looking for the Messiah who was supposed to usher in a time of peace, being from the line of David, being the king unto the people, being a righteous leader. They were all looking to the Messiah. And if they had believed Isaiah 53 was about the death of the Messiah instead of the suffering servant, and what we now, well, from the last video, what we should understand is that the suffering servant was Israel. But if they did understand that this was supposed to be a prophecy of the Messiah, why do they have so many questions about the Messiah's death? These are his faithful followers, and I'm not saying that they were scholars, but it's not like today where we have to give book, chapter, and verse. There's a scripture. I believe it's where was it at? When Jesus slash Hawashai just stood up, opened the scroll, and read a verse from Isaiah, and said, essentially, this today this has been fulfilled, and sat down. That's how they read back then. They did not read book, chapter, verse. They didn't have book, chapter, verse. It was just opening the scroll and everybody knew what they were reading. So they were that familiar with the scriptures, including Isaiah 53. Why are they asking? Now let's also look at Mark. Matthew 16, and we'll start at 15. And I'll read this. Reading from the King James side, which is on the left. Like I said, I like to keep two open. You can read from the NLT as well. He saith unto them, but whom say ye that I am? Okay, so this is in red text. This is Jesus slash Yahushua asking but whom do ye say that I am? And he's speaking to them, but Simon Peter, okay, so 16, and Simon Peter answered and said, thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God. 17, and Jesus answered and said unto him, blessed art thou, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood have not revealed it unto thee, but my Father which is in heaven. 18, and I say also unto thee that thou art Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. 19, and I will give unto thee the keys of the kingdom of heaven, and whatsoever thou shalt bind on the earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatsoever thou shalt loose on the earth shall be loosed in heaven. 20, then he charged his disciples that they should tell no man that he was Jesus the Christ. Okay. So from that time forth, this is 21, began Jesus to show unto his disciples how that he must go into Jerusalem and suffer many things of the elders and chief priests and scribes, and be killed, unalived, and be raised again. Will you please get out of there? And be raised again the third day. Then Peter, 22, took him and began to rebuke him, saying, be it far from thee, Lord, this shall not be unto thee. But he turned and said unto Peter, get thee behind me, Satan. Thou art an offense unto me, for thou savorest not the things of God, but those that be of men. So that's basically the point. Peter not only does not believe it, but he's telling them, like, it's almost like, somebody who is going to off themselves, and you're telling them, no, you don't do that. You can't do that. You know what I mean? Like, we're not gonna let this happen. So he's not understanding what Isaiah 53 is teaching us today back then. The water.